Hello, viewers. Welcome to the revived Teens Ministries International with the edition of Teens Inspire. Teens Inspire is a platform that is set up to share stories of different young men and women that are successful in their respective fields in order to motivate and inspire teenagers to dream far beyond their expectations and their limitations in order to become what God has in store for them. My name is Vanessa Wilson Emo, and I'll be your host for this Teens Inspire. So with me, I have an important personality and a distinguished guest in the person of Mr. Timilehin, Alade.
Hello.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you, sir, for honoring us. We are truly grateful.
Very much.
So can we meet you, sir?
Right. Good afternoon, everyone who's watching or listening, wherever you are. Well, she's introduced me a bit more than what I am. my name is Timilehin, Timilehin Alade, and I'm very much happy to be a part of this. I look forward to you getting to know me and me getting to know a bit more in case I've missed anything. Yes, let's get to it.
All right. So what do? Your career path, any other bio?
Well, okay. I currently work as a housing officer with the London Borough of Islington. That's West England. And well, I've been working with them now for quite some time. But obviously, I did attend university here in Nigeria, University of Lagos, where I studied biochemistry. And well, I think I'll just take the opportunity to just go on and on now. I think that sometimes life gives you opportunities, especially in the places where we think that we're not doing so well. Because I initially wanted to do medicine and surgery.
Wow.
And then, well, even though I had a very good grades, the University of Lagos said that I did not have ISTA. So I needed to go to do biochemistry, and I begrudgingly attended. I almost did not, well, take anything serious throughout university, but thankfully I did come out well. And thanks to God, thanks to friends. And well, I've gone from there to now doing housing, social housing, albeit. But it's been great, and it's been good working as a housing officer and being part of people's lives in terms of providing accommodation for people who otherwise would be street homeless. What else about me? Well, those who know TRN from when it started would definitely know me. Whilst I might look like a very unserious person, I am quite a serious-minded person and a believer, as everyone would be watching, I hope. And if you're not a believer, get saved. Yeah, and I'm happy to have been a part of how this started, even before it's got the name as what it is now. Myself and Brad Nelson doing this in the what you people will call trenches. But that was our own Garden of Eden. That was our own place where we found purpose in life. That was our own place where we dared to do things that would have been scary. Walking up and down the streets, trying to talk to people, going into people's houses, going to schools and telling them we are coming to start a fellowship in your school. And we had quite a great time, just me and the man. We had quite a great time. Lots and lots of people brought into the knowledge of Christ. We had miracles in their numbers. And here we are. And even though I'm not physically present to do the things that we do, I have always been a part of this, and I'm still a part of this. And if there is a calling, if there is a purpose, if there is something to do and to get out of life, it can never be beyond impacting people's lives. And I hope that in your interactions with us, with TRN, that your lives get significantly impacted academically, in social life, as a believer, as a young adult, in all spheres of life, our mission, our goal is to make sure that lives are impacted, lives are changed for the better. Even when we have harsh words, and I often do. Even when we have harsh words, even when we have not so harsh words, even when we seem to want to be fixated on certain things, at the end of the day, it's because we want everyone to be better. Well, oh, I've spoken almost too much now. let me give you an opportunity
All right.
to
Thank
say
you so much,
something as
Sam.
well.
That's amazing. All right, Mr. Timilehin. So, how has life been in the UK?
Well, like I always say to people, if you want to jackba, but you must be warned. As opposed to what people think that living abroad is a world of roses or a bed of roses, it is not so. I think one of the, this is not a gospel of doom. I just have to be honest. There's the good sides of things and there's the not so great sides of things, and I'll start with the bad so we can end on a good note. The not so great side of things really is the first thing that will hit you maybe after a month or two. There is boredom, and that's largely because you are now in a place where the culture is different. I dare say there isn't any culture. I dare to say that people do wherever they please, and there doesn't seem to be a norm. As long as you can argue it legally, you're fine to do whatever you want, which is not a very good way to live life, if we are being honest. This society is guided by certain rules, and those rules are there for a reason. I'll be back to what I was saying about, you don't have anyone to interact with, and even when you have your family around, take for example myself, I do two jobs at the same time. Thankfully, I'm doing two jobs that are more convenient than the two jobs that I was doing before now.
Wow.
But I'm running two jobs. I get out very early in the morning. I come back late in the evening, and I just want to go to bed. It's taken me a long time to say, okay, you know what? Let me add the gym inside, so that when I come back from work, I'll go to the gym. But I've got a gym registration, and I've not gone to the gym in maybe over a month, and I'm paying money. Why? Because you go to work early, you come back late, you're tired. On the weekends, there's nowhere to go. The places where you could possibly go, are these the things I really want to engage in? Are these the people I really want to engage with? Do I really have anyone of the same mindset that we can engage together? And how often are they even available? Because you have Saturday and Sunday. Now I have Saturday and Sunday. Before I did not even have Saturday and Sunday.
Oh.
Which means that as a believer, before now, then you have to think about, how do I get to church? How do I engage with people in church? And that's some of the things that you come across. Another thing is that whilst you are here and you can depend on daddy and mommy when things go wrong, or you can easily call on your next relative, or you can call on a friend quite easily, you will be too ashamed to even call a friend or to call family. Why? Because you know they are not having it as easy as well. It's a system where you have to be on the money all the time. You have to keep thinking about the next shift and the next shift and the next pound. And then when you finally get the money, well, problem starts.
Wow. Pay bills.
Because before your money comes into your account, the government has taken 20% or 40% or 45%, whichever tax bracket you are on. Thankfully, and not so thankfully, because my income kind of increased in the past year, I now pay 40% tax even before money comes into my account at all. The government has taken 40% of everything I've worked for. Okay. And then I have 60% to play with. And then you think about rent. Rent probably takes about half of what you have left. So I have 30% of my income left. And I have to think about gas and electric. I have to think about water. You've got to think about transportation to work. Then you now think about, I have parents and I have siblings and I have people around me. If you're not somebody who is quite involved in your finances, don't get me wrong, it's not all doom, but you have to be very involved. You have to be very intentional about what you do. So yeah, these are some of the things that you come across. I hate to touch on it, but well, there's also the issue of cross-racial interactions. while people think there's a lot of racism, it's not as bad as what you think, but it does exist. And you find people who do not want to sit beside you on the bus because you have this. Well,
Okay,
you
black
light skin,
person.
but because you're dark skin person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, colored.
Yeah, and
Black
things like
person.
that. And you have people who want to talk down on you, but you know what? You be Niger boy, you be Niger babe. You fit in any system.
Exactly.
And most of the time, what I found is that people are scared of you because they don't know you, as opposed to they just hate you. It's more of they're actually scared of you. They've heard many things about you. Heard many things about where you're coming from. They don't really know who you are. They're scared. They've heard, oh, they're from Africa. They smell. Is it true? Do you smell? No, you don't. If you don't smell, why are you afraid? I was telling my wife not long ago. I said to her, you know, when I'm on a bus or on a train, when I have to get on one, I intentionally go and fit myself where there are people who are white. I see many black people sat down together trying to form group. I go sit down in between the next white man and white woman, or well, the people who show their disgust the most are the women. Unfortunately, I feel like maybe they intentionally don't hide it or they don't know how to. I don't know, but I go sit down in between the next two women that have a gap there, comfortably.
But you're from Nigeria now.
Yeah,
Boy.
and what I found is after a while, you yourself don't feel awkward in that kind of situation, and people think, oh, it's quite bold, and they want to find out about you and find out why you are the way you are, and then sometimes they want to talk to you, and sometimes if they don't even start conversations with you, if you have need to start a conversation with people, and then you'll find out that maybe people are not as racist as what you think. Most of the time, they're really just scared. So what is the good part of living in the UK? It is that when people finally get comfortable with you, it is a system that is just as accommodating as Nigeria. People are very willing to help when they have the opportunity to, because they take pride in being able to support. If you are this scared or timid kind of person, you probably think they're doing it as a form of looking down to you, but that's not what it is. They're just very helpful. Some of the greatest help that I have had living in the UK have not come from Africans. They've not come from Nigerians. In fact, some of the biggest problems I've had have come from Africans.
Oh.
And I've had people who are not Nigerians, who are not Africans, who are white, or who are of the white race, sticking up for me, fighting for me when I'm not there, defending me when I'm not there. So if you can overcome that, you will enjoy the UK. You have people who are accommodating. You may not like their lifestyle. That does not mean you can't be friends with them. That does not mean you cannot learn from them. That does not mean you cannot teach them. Human beings, we are a product of influence. So if you're a person who has something to offer, influence the world around you, and then instead of complaining, you would have made an impact, and which is part of what we want to do. We want to be able to make impact in our world, and part of the way to do that is to influence people around you. Yes. In the conversation, in the way you behave, in the way you carry yourself. Be bold, be smart, be informed, and people will not look down on you. In situations where people just do not like you because you are of a certain color or because they just think whatever, who you are will be the resolution to the problem. And what do you bring to the table? I've not been to work for just over 1 week. I called my boss yesterday because I needed him to do something for me at work. And the first thing that came out of his mouth is, "Oh, are you back? Are you back?" I said, "I'm not back. Oh, I've missed you, man. I've missed you, man."
Wow.
That's the first thing he said to me. And I'm thinking, well, he's not white. He's a Jamaican man. But if the first thing your boss says to you is, "I miss you," that says something about what you do as an employee. That says something about who you are, how you operate in the place, you know, and that is what you need to be thinking about. How diligent am I as a person? How well do I project who I am to the world around me? Do I speak about Jesus? when I'm not talking about Jesus, do I speak about someone that somebody wants to emulate? Am I that person that people around me wants to do things the way I do it, or people want to be friends with me because they think I have something to offer? And really, that's it. And well, I hope I've not missed anything. Yes, there's money in UK if you know how to work. There's money there. There's money there. And I mean, now £1, oh, I wish I had the pound coin with me, but £1 is just one coin. And to think that that one coin is approximately 2,000 naira.
Wow.
In pounds.
Just one.
Just one coin. And I don't say this to be funny. I tell you, you cannot walk up to 30 minutes on the streets of London. Don't expect to be cashing money on the floor. But you cannot walk up to 30 minutes on the streets of London and not find the £1 coin on the floor.
Wow.
Why? Because it's coin. People drop coins as they walk around from their purse, from the bags. And that money that somebody will be too lazy to bend down to pick up when they see that it has fallen down is 2,000 naira in our country. Now, if you are that one person that manages to escape here and you send £100 to your relatives, even if you do it once every 2 months, you will have been paying the salary of some people.
Exactly.
Because £100 is what? That's 200,000.
That's 200K.
Approximately.
I need to jackpot.
Do you know what I mean?
I need to
go. And that's what it is. So, but again, the money doesn't come free. You work hard. I don't know if you have any questions for me in terms of career. I'll probably get to that. But
yes.
I did not get to where I am all of a sudden. We'll probably get to that anyway. But basically, you have to work hard. You have to be really invested in what you're doing and be really conscious. You can't just lazy about and think that things will work out for you. Whilst you are in Nigeria where it's comfortable for you and you know your way around things, you know how to cut the corners. There are no corners to cut though. Even the king of England, with all the influence, still has to follow
protocols.
And do we pray for grace to jump protocol?
To break up protocols.
My dear brother and sister, there's a reason why we have miracles. We have miracles for situations where you have done everything you could possibly do. As a human being, with all the intellect God has given you, you've done everything that you could possibly do. Legally, morally, you've done everything, right? But you still need that divine intervention. That is what miracles are for. Miracles are not for people who don't want to read but want to pass exam. Miracles are not for people who decide to continue to abuse drugs and alcohol and do not want their health to fail. But at the end of the day, you want to be 60, 70 years and have your wit about you. You don't want to be 40 years and then they've diagnosed you of vascular dementia. Vascular dementia is a mental health problem that affects people who use a lot of alcohol. By the time they are in their late 30s, early 40s, they can't function properly anymore. They don't have their wits about them anymore. They can't see. They are talking to external stimulus. They are hearing people that are not there. They cannot control their emotions. They are stuck in a particular part of their life. Maybe they'll go back to when they were 16 years old, and that's all they can remember about all their life.
Wow.
And then the worst part of it is that it doesn't get any better. From that point, they only decline. And after a while, they don't even know who they are anymore. It's the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing ever. And I've seen it over and over and over again. And there is nothing good about it. And this is not they told us in church. Maybe what they told you in church protects you. Maybe what the Bible says is for you. There you have me.
You caught me right there. So with all this,
yes,
do you see yourself coming back to Nigeria?
Well,
So you walk round the clock After everything, they will still collect tax.
Let me not lie. I love Nigeria, but my parents, my siblings, quite a number of my extended family live in the UK.
Wow.
And in other parts of Europe as well. And the major reasons why we come back to Nigeria is because I've got my grandparents here, and maybe a few uncles and aunties that may want to visit. Other than that, my work is there, my family is there. I have, quite fortunately, I have the privilege of having access to many more places than I've ever had all my life. I can easily get my passport and jump on a train to Paris for the weekend, or wherever else I want to go in Europe. And I can come to Nigeria whenever I want. So why not stay in a place where I have my people, my family, and where I currently have a job. I mean, except you have a job in Nigeria, or I don't like that. I mean, I don't want to be a politician, but if you can give me a job in Nigeria that will pay me like a politician, that will give me bastard money,
Then
I'll come
back
to Nigeria. Yeah, I will. Abi,
Yeah,
it's money that, in terms of career, everyone is looking for money. Apart from that, of course, I do have very strong ties to Nigeria anyway, which is why I like to travel down to Nigeria. At the moment, maybe every 6 months. There's family, like I said, my grandparents. Well, my partner currently, for now,
Wow.
is in Nigeria.
Drum rolls.
And then there's TRN. I think that TRN is a very, very important part of my life. Like I say, how old were we when we started going out? How old were we again? I think we started going out in 2019.
Oh.
So
5 years now.
Remove 5 years. I probably just entered 20. I mean, I'd been doing things in ministry before that age. I'm quite fortunate, myself and Brother Nelson, quite fortunate to be born into Christian family, and not just any Christian family that been quite involved in the church, and that's kind of shaped the direction in which we've gone. But in 2019, I remember I'd gone for a program in church, Believers Convention, Saints Community Church, and there were words of knowledge and words of wisdom about going out to younger people. I didn't know how or why or when, but I had a word of knowledge about going out to younger people and reaching out to younger people and having much more influence in that sphere. And I thought it would have been part of the church, because we had a church team that goes out to secondary schools. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll be more involved in that, and then I'll be able to reach more people. And I was getting all excited. And then I come home, and I met Bro Nelson, and in a conversation, he did tell me, oh, he's had something like that as well, to go out to secondary schools, and he did not know how to start. And I'm like, what do you mean? We're going now.
Wow.
so I said, we're going now. I think it was the same day. I'm not very sure. Yeah, the same day. We did not know where to go. We did not know how to write letters or how to. We just went. But we had prayed. We prayed a lot. We had prayed a lot and a lot. And you see, when people think that we pray to ask for things from God. No. When God created the heavens and the earth, it says he looked at it and he said, it is good. Everything he created, good. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So in terms of resources, in terms of money, things that you need to do, God has already created that. God has already put, in fact, money is man's creation, isn't it? We exchange value. That value that you are exchanging, you did not bring it from heaven. You found it here on earth. Who created that earth? God did. So everything we need for life, God has provided unto us. We just need to take advantage of that. So what prayer does is not to give you things. It can influence situations. Prayer can influence situations so that you have access to things. But that thing is not the end goal, because it's already there. If you work smart, there are people who don't believe in God at all. And they are some of the richest people in the world.
Exactly.
They have access to so many things. So that's not the end goal. Prayer changes lives. Prayer changes people. Prayer touches hearts. So before we left home, we had prayed. And when we got there, we had people receive us like they had been waiting. Principals of schools, the people that you fear in school, they received us like they had been waiting. Like this is something that we've wanted all this time. Some of them had fellowships in their schools already. Some of them didn't. But we were received because we had prayed. We had prayed. And that's what prayer does. And all the things I did now, writing letter, and I finished. So forget that, England or whatever. I'll be a rugged person. You enter there. So I said, let's go that day. And then we went. And I think we went to 2 schools or 3. And that same day, we already had 1 school tell us to come back the following week.
Wow.
And that was it. And that's how we started. I think we went to Hansi. Hansi, that was the first one that asked us to come the following week. And that was also one of the places where we had one of the first miracles amongst students. We had been going out in the area to people's houses, but a miracle from a student in a school, that was the first one. I think it was an 8-year-old boy or 10-year-old boy who, and I can't remember what happened, but he couldn't walk properly and he couldn't move his neck. So we went to the house. The sister told us told bro Nelson when we were there, and then we went to their house and said, okay, let's go do this.
Let's carry on. Let's go with fire.
And then we had prayed. We prayed, and it was able to walk that same day.
Wow.
It was able to do things in that same moment that it could not do. And then in following days, it was perfectly normal. And this is the same person they were saying something that maybe he needed a surgery. He never went for any surgery.
Wow.
He never went for any surgery. And that's not us. That's the power of God at work in us and through us. And that can be at work in you and through you as well if you give it expression. So yes, these are the things. How did we get here? Am I coming back to Nigeria? So, if I have had this kind of life-changing experiences where I've been able to impact lives, do you think I want to run away from that? I would like to be a part of it. I would like to come as often as possible to be a part of that, to see through what I have been a part of or what I've started. Yes, and that's it, really. So am I coming back to Nigeria permanently? If you find me a better job, I'll come. If not, then I'll visit as often as I can, as I already do anyway.
Oh, amazing. Okay, before we carry on, I want you to just tell us a little bit of how you met the president, Mr. Nelson. The relationship. How did you come this far?
The only difference really is that we do not have the same father. Okay. His mother is my mother.
Wow.
My mother is his mother. We are brothers, basically. I think the very first time I set my eyes on him, I was in nursery too.
Wow. Oh, so you grew up together?
Yes, so we grew up together.
Went to the same school?
We went to the same school, the same church. At some point, we were sleeping in each other's houses.
Wow, the bond is strong.
So yes, we did grow up together, and we did go through life together, and we did do the most harrowing parts. Some of the most challenging times of our lives. Losing a parent, trying to navigate life through secondary school, through university, whilst being a believer, losing my sister.
Wow.
Yeah, we've a family.
Wow. Amazing. I'm short of words.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Thank you so much for how far you brought us.
All right.
You did talk.
you brought me.
Yeah, I brought you. So, what's the involvement of the teenagers and youth in terms of the national change and development in the UK? How is it like?
Good and bad. I think that for me personally, if you look through all of history, the most important set of people in any community, whether it looks like that or not, are usually the teenagers and the young adults. Go look through all of your history books. The people who go to war, who champion war, are about 18, 19, 20. And to live in a place like the UK, where a lot of people are turned to the not so important things, can be quite depressing, because the largest population of teenagers will be in high school or just going into uni. Everyone who is in high school is thinking, oh, I want to finish high school and then go to uni, and that's what their mind's all about. Or they're not even serious with the high school. They leave school, they go out to the park, they go watch a movie. There's free money. The government pays you money. They almost more or
They pay
less.
teenagers money.
Yeah, they pay you money.
Wow.
My younger sister is currently she's doing BTech. It's a little bit higher than secondary school, just tiny little bit. It was like doing your A levels basically, and well, she gets paid. Not a lot of money, but if you are staying with your parents and then your father drops you at school, you enter free bus back from school.
Wow.
Yeah, you get lunch and breakfast for free. You get free books from the library. You get a free laptop from the school that you can use in the school. And if you need to bring it home, you can borrow it and bring it home. Your parents don't pay school fees. And the government gives you stipend every month.
Nigeria.
What are you supposed to do with that? Do you understand? So they have free money. I think young people have free money that many times they don't really know what to do with.
With the money, right?
Yes, and just spending on frivolities, and it's quite disappointing, because I think about my boys in Nigeria, man. You just give them that kind. Then you see somebody. I remember this young man one time. I think it was in early uni. I can't remember. It was a long time ago now. I was doing popcorn. The president was doing popcorn.
Hebron popcorn.
I was doing popcorn in that junction of what's the name of that place again? Sabo Junction.
Sabo.
Sabo Junction. That's where he put his skinny and was selling popcorn. And you can imagine, you as a young person, what you probably do with £50, £100 of free money. That's not money that you're supposed to use to buy food, because you already have food. That's not money that you're supposed to use to transport yourself, because it's free transport because you're a student. And then imagine what you can do with all that money. But there are people who, because they have it and they know they will always have it, don't know what to do with it. So that can be quite depressing to see. On the other hand, the fact that people are afforded this kind of opportunities, for those who are well-groomed, who fall into societies or groups where they are well-nurtured and well-directed, then you see people doing a lot of things. People start little businesses from as early as secondary school, because they have saved up money. And when you're on summer, you do summer jobs. They don't pay you as well as everybody else, but you get money, because what are you doing with money? You get a lot of money. You get people coming out of secondary school and telling their parents, you know what, I'm going to Europe. I'm going on holiday with my friends. You can do things that you want to do. You can influence the culture. You can influence how things, because you have access. I mean, sometimes we kind of like talk down on money, like money is a bad thing. But money actually buys you a lot of things. And some of the things it buys you is access. Sometimes we're blinded by buying bags and shoes and buying the latest designer and things like that. But the most important thing you should think about when you have money is, what access can I buy with this money? Access to people, access to information, access to places. 3 very important things: access to people, access to information, and access to places. You go out to places. Why? Because you want to experience that environment. You want to see what's going on in that place. What are the opportunities there? What can I get from this place? What can I give to this place? You want access to people, because whether they are believers or they are not believers, there are certain people. Let's not lie to ourselves. Let's not lie. You get the kind of money you get before you go sit down in the same room with Otedela. Not because I don't like poor people, but for you to sit down on the same room, on the same table, there's a level that you have to
Yes.
be on. Or if you don't have money, you need to have information that Otedela needs.
For you to get to him.
So remember what I said? You buy access to people, access to information, and access to places. If you don't have enough money to buy access to people, buy information that people will need, and go to places where they will be able to find you. You don't stay in your house and expect that the person who is going to patronize your business is going to meet you there. I know we have the online society thing where you can put your things on Instagram, and don't stay in your room. Go outside. When we wanted to start hearing, we were not just praying and waiting for somebody to pass by the street to preach to. We prayed and then we went out. We went out on the streets. Some places we were rejected. Some places we were accepted. People heard us. People heard us and laughed at us. People heard us and listened and got things out of what we had to say. But we went to places. How much money do you have? But I give money, she must add here. Adie Lansing. Who was I? My aunt. I went to Ayobo yesterday. And now was telling me how somebody was saying that there was one boy that lives in this house. We used to carry. Then I was doing poultry. So I had cages and I had one room like this in my father's big mansion. I was used to do rare birds, and people would laugh at me. I went out carrying birds, carrying feed on my head, and I'll see people from my school. The way they talk to you, they're laughing at you, they're mocking you.
Yeah, they're mocking you.
Even my own teachers. My own teacher, because my house is my house. My secondary school is directly beside. I share fence with my secondary school. That time I used to jump from the house inside over the fences when they pursue for school fees. But they will laugh at you, and it's like the little money I had when I had done with my service year was what I brought over. I was doing poetry during my service year. I've always been someone who likes to be enterprising. And I made a few millions during my service year, even though I wasted everything. I'll not tell you what.
You tell us.
Yeah, life lessons. But I was even large. If you want to know, I was even large. Don't laugh at me. I was living. I did not live in any of the corpus lodges. I was fortunate enough to be given what do I describe it as? It's not a general room in a hotel. It's a room that's got a kitchenette, bathroom, everything. It's more like a self-contained kind of thing, an ensuite kind of self-contained thing in an hotel. And I had that for free. I was doing business, so I invested in business. I did come out with quite a substantial amount of money, and and this is why you need to be enterprising, because immediately after service year, it was lockdown, COVID lockdown. And it was my business that sustained the family, my mom and 3 siblings.
Could you tell us
more
business,
about it?
so that I missed it.
Business, it's poultry. I just said it's poultry. I want to go and buy birds. I want to go and buy birds. Yeah, I want to go and buy birds. I want to buy feed. I started doing that. That's what we were doing. He also dabbled into it for a bit. Nelson.
Sorry, I want to ask a question. Yeah? We're doing poultry.
Yes.
So during lockdown,
yes,
people buy chicken.
Yes.
During lockdown,
people need to eat. Because
okay,
people need to eat food, and people, even though it was lockdown, people needed to find things to keep themselves going, and it was always cheaper. I don't know now because I'm not in the business in Nigeria, but I want to assume it would always be cheaper for you to buy live chicken than for you to buy frozen food. I'll tell you why.
Why?
When you buy live chicken, I don't know how much the market is, but then how much is my live chicken? 5K.
One.
There you come. But that 5K, ori, papa, méjèèjì, ẹsẹ̀ méjèèjì, gizzard is inside. There's, chest, breast area. You can cut a full chicken. You can, if you want it very big, you can cut it apart from the head and the extremities. Yeah, you can cut the body cavity itself into either 4 pieces, or 8 pieces, or 16 pieces, or 32 pieces.
Wow. Then how much do you sell one? Like
at that time, I independent because they are great. I had beds of 5K. I had beds as costly as 12,000 naira because we were that big.
Wow.
At the time, and I tell you, at the time, again, I don't know what the market is like now, but at that time it was more effective because if you buy 1 kilo of chicken now, how much is it? Who knows?
A kilo?
A kilo of chicken.
When last did I eat chicken?
I think it's a kilo is 5,000. So about 5,000 to buy 1 kilo. That 1 kilo, they will not cut it to more than 10 pieces. Highest.
Yes, maybe 8.
Yeah. But if you look for the smallest size fowl that is edible, and you buy for maybe 7K. Yes. I don't know how much they sell it, but the smallest size one, maybe 7K. You get more than 5 to 10 pieces.
Well, you have to get money to buy feed.
Jimmy,
then a house. Okay,
yeah,
you were using your father's house.
Yeah, I was in my father's house.
That was why.
I was using my father. I had a bit of money. I built 2 very nice cages. I bought some things, invested my money into that. At the same time, I was doing freelance writing. So
Okay.
I would have walked all through the night, wake up in the morning, feed the birds, go to bed, wake up in the afternoon, go back to feed the birds in the evening, feed the bird, go and buy feed, come back. And then at some point, my mom used to, she used to buy fish before, grill it and sell. Now, because I had birds, and she now started to grill my birds and sell it. That brought us even more money.
Wow.
Because now that we have grilled it, 15K.
So you go to restaurants
again. Full time.
Wait, at your junction.
No. So again, what did we say we do with money? We buy access to people, access to places,
and access to
information. Right. So what we did was to first of all start with the people that we already knew. Sold to them. The people that bought and saw the value in it told other people that they have access to.
And there was continuous patronage.
And then at some point, we were exporting my poultry in Nigeria to the UK.
Wow.
We were exporting fish because I remember my mom was buying to grill, but now I had that. So I started a fishery as well because the poultry business was doing well. So we opened fishery. We were exporting fish from our small compound there in Ayobo to the UK, to the US, to Canada, from our small compound there. And how did I get this? I went to NYSU, they taught us this thing there, and I learned it. So my training, I learned something. I had made small money. I used that money to make even more money. How did we get here?
So teenagers, viewers, for you to progress, you must have access to information, access to people, and access to places. Our young billionaire at a very young age.
Yeah, but so there was that, and that was sort of what we did at the time, and we so we were saying, how do teenagers frame the world around us? I've just mentioned one. If I wasn't doing that business, I wasn't a teenager anymore, but I was a very young person. I was about 20 or 21 at the time. My business sustained an entire family for almost a year. It might be yours next time. As a scientist, I can tell you we're going to have another pandemic. Before we die, there's going to be another pandemic. It will happen. How it will happen, where it will happen, why it will happen, we don't know. And even if another pandemic does not happen, there is a socio-economic downturn all over the world. It's not only Nigeria. Maybe Nigeria is a little bit worse than other places, but it's all over the world. The people who invest their time, their resources, their knowledge into things that generate finances are the ones that float most often than not. You may not have all the money, but at least you can think, Owombo. When you are working for an employer, when you are working for government, they will owe you money because they too they are suffering. But the organ of the business will have taken his own
share
before he thinks about you. So why not be the person, even if you are working a 9-to-5 job, have a side business and access places, access offices, talk to your friends, go to places, see. Because there's a place where they are drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes there, as long as you don't go there, I did not say go and smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol. When I was doing my service, I was also whilst doing poultry, I was also manufacturing liquid wash. I walk into the bar with my bleach in one hand and my liquid wash, liquid soap in the other hand. Right? I walk into the bar and go and meet the bartender. Where is your manager?
See the confidence. Wow.
Yes, I have something for you. I've made it. I trusted in what I was doing. I went to Sterling Bank, Yenagua. If you know Bayelsa, Yenagua, I went to Sterling Bank. There's one very big major Sterling Bank there. I went there. Well, I had access. I knew their manager. But I did not wait for him because I've been telling you now, Sammy, I work in there with my team. I say, I want to know the person that is your head of cleaning services. Yeah. I have products to sell. The woman do me like this, then I now finally use my access. I came home, I brought my product to see sample, take. Then he influenced it and I started to sell to them. And I was making nothing less than, let me see, how much was I selling? I was making nothing less than 50,000 naira monthly from that one place.
Wow. Just profits.
In profits. From that one place. And this is how you can, apart from, this is how you can meet people. This is how you can generate economy. And it's not all about money as well. Even as a believer, this is how you meet people and influence lives. You go out. You find out, how is this thing done? Let's go out evangelism. I don't know how it is done. How do people do evangelism? Okay, I know there's somebody that goes out on evangelism. Let me go and shadow him. Shadow means that you follow the person. You're not going to go and do anything. No. You just follow the person and watch. The man of God I respect very well usually says that the things of God can be taught. Apart from just being taught, they can also be caught. And how do you catch it? By being there present. When that man of God is laying hand on people, you watch how he does it. Does he preach a sermon before doing it? What kind of sermon does he preach before doing it? When he lays hands, what does he say? After saying it and laying hands, what happens? How are people supposed to respond? Then you can learn how to respond when hands are laid down on you. You can also learn how to lay hands on people. You can learn how to preach the gospel to people. Whether as a group or as an individual. That's how I learned it. Somebody took me by the hand and took me to the street and I went to preach. I probably don't look like a preacher, but I preach. And what that does to you, it doesn't make you a big man. It makes you a well-formed person and a bold person. Not a big man. Money doesn't make you a big man. Having knowledge of the Bible doesn't make you a big man of God. It makes you a well-formed and bold person. You can look the devil in the eye and say, tell him to get out. You carry your money and open doors for yourself, for your parents, for the people around you. When you touch people around you, they also go ahead, touch other people, and that's how you form the world. And the people who can do that is me and you. 14, 15, 16, 17, and 16. What was I doing? I'm moving kakiri gbogbo streets, akoka, don't preach, tiye, uni lag. Today, because you lag, they know me, they know my name. I tell you, my those tell you, you over cook, I be cook here. When I finish cooking, we pay you what we eat it together because I know I have money to go and eat anyway. I will eat your own, but you will hear what I have to say. And that's how you influence your world. That's the rule. In the UK, however, there's a lot of things. It depends on who you're looking at. There's every circle. There's what, just like in any part of the world, there are carcasses. There are people who are focused on career. There are people who are focused on just partying. There are people who are focused on, whatever, many different things. And there's a few believers.
So it's just for you to distinguish yourself.
Yeah, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to do. And this is how I want to affect the people around me.
Wow. So you have to access a place for you to get to know someone, for you to get to people. Then when you access people, then you get information. Wow. I need to try out that strategy.
Oh yeah, you do.
I must try it though. You say
I can give you a little example.
Okay.
Something that you can do. So let's say you wanted to start a business. And you're thinking, I don't have money, but I have a business idea. So what do I do? Who am I? Where am I? Where am I now? Oh, I'm in secondary school. What is missing? What is everybody complaining about in the secondary school? Well, a lot of people don't have access to textbook. But my senior brother has gone through secondary school and he has a lot of textbooks. Am I renting you? Yes. Or you can teach people. I don't know, a lot of times it's like knowledge is not for free.
exactly.
I mean, you don't need to charge them 500 naira. Ewa, buy me lunch, I'll teach you maths. Abi, buy me pop-off, I'll teach you literature. Abi now, because by the time you do that, you are well formed. You are learning so that you can teach other people. By the time you enter uni, I will not you go and write people's assignments for them. Sorry, you say it's illegal. It's not illegal. You are not the person. You are not the reason why a person. See the priorities, right? I could be in the university. I want to just help me to do this project. They are giving us a class project. Help me to do it. I'll pay you to do it. Get it done. You collect your money. It not affect you. That's what the person wants to do. See, if you don't do it, you carry the business to another person.
True.
It does not change the fact that you will not go to hell for it. I lie.
So how certain are you?
I lie the lie. You will not go to hell. I know. Trust me. You will not go to hell. You know why?
Confidence for me.
You know why? Because how is a man saved? For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Okay. Is that how? Did he say? Not talk side, they talk nonsense. But there's a reason why that is what is in there. Paul in 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians, many different places. It says that I bring to you the gospel which was also preached unto us. First of all, that Christ died, he was buried, he rose on the third day, and he appeared unto many. Later on in that chapter, it goes on to say that this same gospel which you heard and by which you are saved. So salvation, being in heaven, is a function of believing in God's power to save. That's the only thing you need to do. If you want to help God for you to be saved, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Because if you could save yourself by your actions, you did not need to go to the cross to die. Now, does it mean, go ahead and go and be doing stupid things? You're a fool. Because I never said anything like that. I didn't say anything like that. What I'm saying is, your consciousness should be the consciousness of God as giving his love to me. I accept that. You don't give your life to him. Which life do you have? Ephesians chapter 2. You were dead in sin. Jesus was dreaming and saying that. He said you were dead in sin. You were dead. Which life do you have? You want to give God? You give you. You don't have it. You were dead. You were dead. He gave you life. He gave you life. Then you live that life to glorify him. You live the life he's giving you to glorify him.
Wow.
You carry the identity of Christ's
Being an
crucifixion.
ambassador.
You carry the identity of Christ's resurrection. You carry that identity. That does not affect how you do business. It affects how you do business. It does not tell you what business to do. So influence your world. Learn. Go and meet. See, I tell you a lie, Olongbo. The people, the people that have the information that you need to succeed, most often time, I mean financially, most often than not, they're not believers. They're not. And it's easy to see. Again, just go and, why is it like that? Because finances are not, there's nothing spiritual about money. It's logic. It's oripipe. It's oripipe. There's nothing spiritual about it. Again, when God created the earth, He put all the resources by which you make money in the earth. Some people have money because of privilege. They were born into a family that already has the money and already has structure. They were groomed from a young age to know how to make money and how to manage money. Some of us were born into a house where the roof was leaking. But you cannot know anything about money. And the Bible is not a book of making money. You'll be very stupid to think that you will make money by reading the Bible. Am I saying that God does not bless people? That's not what I'm saying. God blesses people. But the laws of economics is not written in the Bible. That's why you go to school. That's why your parents are suffering. I mean, sometimes we'll go, Jesus is the way. It's Jesus. It's only Jesus. We'll skip class. because you need to have a degree, to have a job, or at least learn a skill. Preaching the gospel is something you need to do. In fact, there's some places you want to go and preach the gospel. They'll not listen to you because you are dressed tattered.
Yes.
And it's your fault. If they go to hell, it's your fault. Yes, now, it's your fault that you don't look good. You don't present yourself well. Not theirs. I mean, of course, they will hear it from somewhere else. So they will have their own blame to carry. But you know, when you go to some place and they reject you because of what you look like, it's not their fault too. It's what they are used to. You can't blame them for that. Don't feel bad. Go and work on yourself.
Make personal development.
Yes. Now, do you want to push to Justin Bieber now? Will I see Justin Bieber? Will I see Justin Bieber inside Mama Put? My local concert Justin Bieber. No one talking about ticket Justin Bieber.
Oh, Mercy Chinwo.
Mercy Chinwo.
Gospel.
No, Mercy Chinwo is already a believer. I want to preach. It's preaching. I want to preach. That's what I'm. Again, you look at this and it's like, oh, you don't want to do this. You have a purpose in mind.
Yes.
There's something you have there. Again, remember, it's not about the money. The money doesn't make you anything. You want to influence your world with something that you have. The knowledge you have, the knowledge of God that you have, but you need to be where you can find the people that you want to influence.
Exactly.
So I will buy a ticket to where Lil Wayne, who knows Lil Wayne? You probably know him. I'll buy a ticket to Lil Wayne's concert so that I'll buy premium. It's very expensive. I'll buy premium so that I can go backstage before the concert starts and for the chance just to see him, just to spend 5 minutes to tell him about Jesus. That's influence. That's how influence works. I will go to the corners of the earth where people don't have money to buy clothes. When I go there, should I go there, my brother? Should I? I probably have to wear the things I wear when I want to paint my house. So that when I get there, they will not feel threatened. They will be able to listen to me.
Don't be intimidated.
Do you see what I mean? So it's not only about the rich people. You have a purpose in mind. You shape your world by the message you preach, by who you are and how you present.
Wow, amazing. I need drum rolls. Alright, sir. Any advice for the teenagers out there that are watching us?
Advice: speak less, think more, listen. I think that those three things, the Bible says that to be slow to speak, right? To be slow to speak. There's a reason why the Bible says you're slow to speak. Like we were saying earlier, your words shape your life. And when you're talking too much, you'll not hear what the other person is saying.
Yes.
I'm a loquacious person. Loquacious is a big word. I'm a talkative person, not loquacious. I'm not loquacious. Loquacious is to say things without sense. I talk a lot when I'm very comfortable. So I know. You will not hear what the other person is saying. Remember what we said to have access to as a young person? Have access to people, have access to information, have access to places. If you talk a lot, you will not get a lot of information. You're only saying the jargons that you don't even know too well about. How many things do you really know? Speak less. Even when you know it, hear what other people have to say so that you can know how wise they are or how stupid they are. Then you know who your friends are. You know who your friends are. So, yeah, I think that it might look like very simple things and very common things, but practice it in every sphere of your life. Speak less. Listen more. Listen a lot. And be slow to act. It's better for you to be slower than God than to be faster than Him.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race.
Always better to be one step behind. Be slow to act. Even when you think you know what God is telling you to do, wait.
Inquire.
Still wait. Plan it well. Then you will see the bottles. If you rush it,
You rush in, you rush out.
rush our new.
So, Mr. Timilehin,
Yes, madam.
do you have any word for RTM? A word for RTM?
What about it? We keep doing what we have been doing. Circumstances will change, pressures will come, we'll have conflicts of ideas sometimes, but we keep doing what we set out to do. Prayerfully so, intentionally so. When we have all the gadgets, when we don't have the gadgets, when we have money, when we don't have money, we die there. We keep doing what we set out to do. Then it will be worthwhile. That is how people will last long. You just keep doing the same thing. Of course, you will learn new things along the way, but don't falter. It's the same thing. It's not change. Evangelism, praying, reaching out to each other, staying as a family. We keep doing the same thing. This is it. We find better ways of doing it with experience, but it has to be the same thing. If it changes, it's not. It's enough.
Wow. Mr. Timilehin, Alade. A distinguished personality.
Distinguished.
You're looking nice today. I forgot to compliment.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if you're wondering why I have my hair plate, that's one of the things I don't understand. I mean, if you're like me, I'm a lazy person. I'm not so lazy. There are some things that are not so important to me. Right? If I keep my hair undone, it will be rough. I don't have time to comb hair. I work 2 jobs. I wake up, get out. I don't have time to be going to the shop. I plait my hair because my sister can do hair. She does it. I don't waste money. I don't waste time. As she's doing it, I'm working. I know that if I place my hair, I still preach where I am. It is in Nigeria now, if I place my hair, and I go to YouTube, some of you will not listen to me. But there, if I place my hair and I carry my Bible, you will listen. So it's a culture thing. Here, it's not an acceptable culture. Over there is an acceptable culture, and it doesn't stop me from doing what I do.
Wow, amazing. All right, thank you so much, sir, for being here. We're actually grateful. Thank you for all you do in RTM, and thank you for all you do towards the body of Christ. Thank you so much, sir. And happy birthday in arrears to you once again.
Thank you very, very much.
So we've come to the end of the show, Teens Inspire. Please don't forget to follow us on all social media handles, IG, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Everything will be in the screen. I'll see you in the next video with another personality. God bless you. Bye. Tell them bye.